Hey, how's it going to all my fellow FENERBAHÇE fans? Hope you all are doing okay. The results so far hasn't really been good, unfortunately, for a month, maybe month and a half now. Things have been quite shaky and disastrous. I haven't uploaded for quite some time now, which I wasn't planning to do that, but then I got quite busy with things, and with most free time I had, I would just watch the matches, and that went a bit sour. Kept a bit of a weird aftertaste. Either way, just want to make a video about, video talk, podcast, whatever you want to call it at this point, discussion, sharing my opinion and my views about what's happening with the team. We started off so good, and now here we are. Chaos, like literally a chaotic environment. It's just unbelievable because 4 weeks ago, right before the international break, we were the leaders on top. Decent football, not the best, but decent football, and everything really seemed bright for us. And even though we had tons of injuries, we were still the leaders and whatsoever. It was a decent performance from the team. And fast forward now, and fans are. They've lost everything, patience-wise, belief-wise, everything. You can see yesterday they were booing the players, which personally I find that wrong, which wasn't right because they were trying their best, and it wasn't correct to boo your own players no matter how bad they performed. But the thing is, the players were trying their whatever they could. You can't just say no, they weren't. They were taking the risks. Yes, you failed while taking risks, but at least you could see they were trying. They weren't playing that safe passing. But however, 2-0 down, then then we got to come back 2-2. But even after that, we ended up hearing from the stands that board to resign, president to resign, and apparently some were even calling for Aziz Yildirim, our ex-president. And it was quite a chaotic night yesterday, I guess. Unexpected events, but the issue is what seems to be the problem here, because bad results and just in general. What's happening? We went from zero to hero, then from hero to zero again in span of like five matches or so. Of Olympiacos game, and then the Trabzon game, and then it just went all trash after that. Antwerp draw in home, just weird in general. It's just weird. Don't know really how we went there out of a sudden, because tactically we were decent for the first 5-6 games of the league, and in all, we were decent tactically. The Frankfurt game was one of the, I won't say like the best top 10, but in recent times, one of the best games we played against actually a proper good team with proper tactics as well. And I was excited that game, because it felt something different. That during this Ali Koch's 3.5 years or so stint, so how many good matches we played? One of them was against Gaziantepspor in the first league game with Ersun Yanal. We beat them 5-1, 5-2. That was a great game. The Trabzonspor game at home, which we drew 1-1. But the way we played that game was one of the best, literally so good. And other than that, we had a very few with Errol Cloud as well. And then there was Vitor's match, Vitor's team against Frankfurt, which we played really good as well. But other than that, there aren't really many great matches. We really good matches that we pulled out. And one against Zenit in our home stadium in Europa League. I think it was 2 seasons ago, where who scored? I think Moses scored. Slimani scored. Yeah, Slimani scored, if I can remember correctly. So anyways, this is from that match, the expectations now went much higher because of how we performed. And of course, after seeing that, come on. We nearly beat Frankfurt if it weren't for the penalty miss and Waterhole, but good performance, more expectations, and then things just went south. we lost in the league, we drew in the league, then, this and that and that and this, and here we are. And so many people want the coach to be sacked. And day by day, I feel like that numbers are increasing. And the media isn't really helping that either. Everyone's bashing on everyone. And of course, the fans are getting affected by that. And they want the board to be out as well. Now, personally, my opinion, as much as the people say, 3 at the back doesn't work with Fenerbahçe. No, 3 at the back is an ideal formation with the team you have. But there are few issues with this 3 at the back. Not the lineup, not the formation. It's not about the formation. It's about who are playing in that formation and what are you playing inside that formation. Now, against Antwerp, where we won 3-0, we had quite a creative midfield. And the midfield and Berisha carried the game. I'm not going to talk about the defense. Defense was pretty decent that game as well. The point is, how do we play? For the most part, we tried to go from the middle with one passes, 1-2 passes. I won't say tiki-taka, but, a bit watered-down version of that. But, passing was there. You could see they were trying to create something and then attack as a whole team. It worked because Antwerp was a team that plays open football. The same thing would work against Hatayspor. The same thing might work against Galatasaray, against Beşiktaş. Trabzonspor, it sort of was working, and then the red card and all. So I'm not really going to get into that. But the issue is, for so many years now, the team cannot play against closed defenses. Like, there is no solution to open up that closed defense. When an opposition team parks the bus against us, so panic mode starts. Like, what do we do? What do we do? Because there's no plan. I mean, seems like there's no plan. Literally, like, there's no plan. Now, when you don't have a plan how to open up that, how to get rid of the bus that's parked in front of the goal, is crossing, which we saw. Which I wasn't expecting, honestly speaking. I wasn't expecting Pereira to pull that off, start a crossing game with the team. But that was really disappointing because I genuinely liked, Pereira as what he was trying to add into the team in the first, 10 games and 10 games or so, something like that. Or maybe not, with Europa League and all, with 10 games. In one of our friend Yellow Canary, in his podcast, when we were having this good run, I mentioned that, this team needs another 5 more matches. And Pereira himself to, implement the full ideals, his ideals to the team, then, we should be good to go. Everything will be set and we should be fine. And funny thing is, 5 matches later, here we are. Okay, not exactly 5 matches, but, it went from, expecting it to get even better, it went worse. And so the thing is, the issue here, what I'm seeing is, right, one, we cannot open up the closed defenses. Basically, we cannot open up or go through the park the bus tactics against the opposition. 2, when the team give us the ball, so basically there's this one thing, right? Our team has the ball, we just pass around, okay? The thing is, it's just passing around for passing around, and then you pass to the wings and they try to cross in, and that's that. So it's almost like we've lost the identity of what we had in the first 5-6 matches of good performance that we were having in the beginning of the season. Because there was an idea, that we continuously press the opposition team. We have the ball where we need. We don't need to, start with the ball. Because if you guys paid attention, for the most part with Vitor in the beginning of the season, first 5 minutes or so, the opposition team would attack us. We get the ball from them, counterattack, with right passes, and then go for a goal and score in the first 5-6 minutes. If not, then, that idea would still be that. In a way, we give them the ball, we take the ball from them. In unexpected moments, we try to counterattack them and score. Just as I mentioned, again, maybe in one of my videos or in the podcast with Yellow Canary, I'll drop his channel's link down below. You guys could check out those as well. Over there, I mentioned as well, the thing is, when we score quick. That's cool. But when we can't score, there comes an issue. We wait. That's like the waiting game of Vitor Pereira. Let them attack. He relies on defense, basically, right? Let them attack. And what I mentioned in the podcast was, Fenerbahçe's style was similar to Atalanta's style about a season and a half ago or so, 2 seasons ago, basically, where they played against PSG in the Champions League. They're playing three at the back as well, similar, like really similar style. But what happened was they switched the formations. Gasperini switched the formation because he saw there was some flaws in it. So he kept on rotating the formation. Basically, as a coach, I feel like the biggest issue with Pereira was, right, and probably by the board, but the board asked him to play three at the back. Okay, like completely three at the back probably. And, Pereira was like, yeah, I'm not going to get out. Like, I'm not going to change my mind over that three at the back. So, you go talk to players, hey, we're always going to play three at the back. I mean, this is the plan. I mean, what would have been more healthy is, honestly, with this team, again, I'm all in for three at the back. But once, things go south, you need to have your B plan. And that B plan should have been 4-3-3. That was the ideal, 4-3-3, ideal 4-3-3 with Mesut Ozil as a center attacking mid. In front of whether it be Gustavo as a center mid, or, okay, I mean, Gustavo, I don't really think so. He'll be able to hold on to that center mid because he's too slow with passing the ball. Takes too much time. What you do is play modern football. Either Zaitz and Crespo would be your center mids because they could run a lot, or Mert Hakan and Irfan would be those. So Mert would be the most likely the one running around for the most part than Irfan. Now, this would make your players get tired. But if you're actually playing a creative game, then you don't have to press continuously. You just need to know how to use the ball when you have the ball. When the opposition team drops the ball to you, for you to use it. You just need to know what to do. Now, when you have Zaitz, Gustavo, and I'm just saying, who else is there? Let's see, Max Meyer and Crespo. Let's say this is our midfield. Without Irfan or without Mesut Ozil, these are systematical players for the most part. You tell them to do this, do that, and do this. They will follow that. But the creativity comes with players like Mesut Ozil and Irfan because they know where to pass and they know how to get the team moving front. Now, we lost that identity. What we had in the beginning of the season, that's completely gone. Because now it's really more hard to decipher what we're actually playing. Because either the balls are being sent to the wings, and then we end up trying to cross in and lose the ball and get counterattack and concede. So, as I was saying, I feel like in the beginning of the season, once Pereira came in, they should have told him that, play with at least two formations when when you see this one's not working, switch to a different formation with a different playing style. Don't just get stuck with a specific example. I'm just saying counterattack football or pressing football. Have a different plan as well. Train the players for different planning as well, because when you have in international breaks, that's the best thing to do. In international breaks, I know this might sound a bit strange. You don't even have to play against some other teams or other clubs in a friendly game. You can actually play against your under 19, under 21, and tell the youth team's coach, tell them to play against, let's say if we're playing against Galatasaray, and analyze how Galatasaray has been playing for a couple of weeks. And tell, you see the way, I'm just saying, again, example, let's say they're playing passing game. So you tell your youth team to play the passing game as well. They don't necessarily have to play at full as Galatasaray, but they're somewhat implementing that play style with them. So let them play against you, and so you can see what kind of flaws would they give. Of course, now youth team's flaws won't be compared with a bigger club, but you can kind of get the idea what to do. Now the second thing is the squad building with this club. Horrible every season, horrible. Wrong players are being bought for the most part. You're buying a player and you're not using him. And the player you're supposed to use, who's there in the team, you're benching him. Really? How many players have we already bought? 60, 70 players. And how many of them have we actually managed to get something out of? Attila was one of them. Probably Kim is one of them now. We bought Crespo. He's playing 2 matches and he's out for 4 matches. Sosa played really good against Antwerp. He's not here. Burak Kapacak, we haven't even seen him. Why do we brought him? Seriously. He can play as a right mid. He can play as a right wing. If even you try so hard, he can go as a center attacking mid. You can put him to left mid. I mean, left wing as well. You have a versatile player. The dude's like a Swiss knife. What do you mean he's not ready? Then you're playing Mohamed and then you're benching him for 5-6 matches. I just don't understand. It's really hard to explain what's going around. So another problem is just as I said, there's no right 11. We don't have an actual 11. Every week there 4 or 5 players keeps on changing from the lineup. Of course, you won't build a chemistry like this. Like, there won't be any chemistry at all because you keep on changing the formation after formation. So, I mean, there's just too many issues now with the team. It's starting to leak out, and fans are impatient. I can understand them, but just as I said, booing the players is not going to solve the issue. That's like number one, because at least one good thing that came with the Pereira is the team is running nonstop. We're always pressing. We're always trying to get the ball. It's always running. The problem is end material. Seems like, what we have is good, but, there's no end material to it. It's like you have a script on your hand of of a movie or just a TV show. So 3 episodes, you've done pretty well. You have the script of the 3 episodes, but, you don't know how to end the show. 2 more episodes and your show's about to end, but you don't have that 2 episodes. There's no end to it. That seems to be the issue, because once inside the box, we don't actually have a proper set piece tactics, corner tactics. I haven't seen anything. I was expecting to work on it, but nope. Even worse, we're conceding from corners every week. Same goals, literally. We're conceding the same crappy goals against Konya. We conceded that way. Against who was it? Antwerp. We conceded the same thing against. Yesterday we conceded against Kayseri. I mean, really, dude, how do you not fix that? So the main question here is, should Vitor Pereira get sacked? Now, if you do a poll, 60-70% of the fan base would say he should get sacked. 20% would say maybe, just let's be a bit more patient. Maybe things could change around. Or we shouldn't sack the coach every year, every season. 10% would say, I don't know. It's hard for him to decide. My personal opinion, Pereira should stay until winter transfer window. And the board should come up with a B plan, like right away, right from today onwards or whatever. They should just start, since it's an international break, right? Look for a coach that, what do you want to do? See, Pereira's already started like a 3 at the back thing. Okay, you want to continue. If you want to continue with the 3 at the back, then do it that way. But, make sure your coach is versatile as well. Not too stubborn, he's okay with changing things once, here and there sometimes. You don't always have to, I'm not saying let's play 4 at the back, 4-3-2-1. That just like old same formation, same thing that you don't need that. But more versatile. Different matches require different things. Pereira was doing that in the beginning. What happened to him now? I just don't understand. Why did he change his mind out of a sudden? You were doing what was right, and now just he doesn't care now. He's like, okay, whatever. Too many mistakes now. Now, I still support Pereira, but, it's starting to dim off a bit. A few more matches, I don't really think so. I mean, that 20% that was supporting. See, this, by the way, this is a worst-case scenario thing about winter transfer thing. In worst-case scenario, what you do is, let's say we lose to Galatasaray and then we drop out of Europa League. That's the worst-case scenario. Even a draw somewhat might save, but then, we're going to lack more points behind the number 1 spot on the league against Trabzonspor. So what happens is, once he's, whatever happens, international break, you look for a new coach. But this is as a B plan. You don't have to specifically say, I'm going to sack Pereira. Just have your scouts or whatever, whoever is there, talk with, don't even have to talk, but, scout some coaches who can play 3 at the back the way you want it to be. All right? And then, wait for the moment how this thing's all going to work out. If the worst case scenario comes in winter transfer window, you bring in your new coach. All right? And until then, if you're going to bring a coach as well, let's say we lost the Galatasaray game, then, get in contact with this coach, whoever is there. And I really doubt there's any coach to bring in. Now, people are going to say, hey, let's bring Aykut Kocaman back. And, Ersun Yanal is free, get him. Daum is there, bring him back. I mean, no. See, there's this one, one thing, right? These all have been tried already. We tried with Aykut Hoca. It didn't work. Done, move over it. Ersun Yanal, personally, is one of my favorite coaches. I still remember that season where we became the champion. And we played really good football. It was really exciting. But there's no need to be nostalgic over it now. He was brought back. Yes, he did. He wasn't supported by the board that much because they didn't want to bring him in. It was just the fans wanted him and they brought him in. He failed, and partly it's on the board as well. They didn't really buy any left back. We were playing Dirar as a left back. But whatever, there's no point of getting back to him again. Daum is just a what if in the past. All right, Dom could have been like Alex Ferguson for us, but that's on the past. That's just the what if. So we're not living with what ifs now. Just got to continue with whatever we have in our hand. And if you can find an ideal coach to continue with your three at the back, all right, even an interim coach at this point, you just need a fresh blood at that point if things go, completely worst case scenario. Bring someone, and then once the new season starts, if the board doesn't resign, this is as well, if they stay in, then new season, get the foundations with a new coach. If we basically drop out of the league, we can't push for a championship and Europa League, then the ideal scenario is to win the Turkish Cup, to at least so you can go to Europa League again. So, have your plans, work towards that and still push for the league somehow, try to finish second or third. And then what happens is, if you want to stay with the coach, you see this this newly coach you brought in is working. Names doesn't matter at this point, because I don't even know what coaches are there left in the market that can do a miracle at this point. Did I just say random coach you brought in? It worked out. If you think you want to continue with him, then you continue with him. If he's done well, because it's just a fresh blood at this point. And the fans, they're pretty sure they'll accept it. And the board should come out and say, this is the coach. We're not gonna sack. Done. No matter how bad the results are, we're not sacking him. Though you don't have to show any boo the players or anything. Just be more transparent with the fans. Literally after Trabzonspor game, I haven't seen any board member come out and talk about what's happening in the club. I'm pretty sure we were promised that, where the board was going to be more transparent with the fans. But I'm not seeing any transparency here. Literally nothing. It's the fans are there. They're toxic. Yeah, they're toxic. But, the toxicity comes from the board as well in a way. Because you guys are keeping everyone in the dark. That's just normal. Just normal reaction from everyone. Everyone, if you see, charisma is an important thing. And Ali Koç has that. Or maybe had that. I don't know if anymore, most fans actually even care about that anymore. You can convince people with the right speech patterns. You can talk to them and try to make them understand. You don't need 100% of them to understand you, but at least 70-80% will understand. 50% of them completely will understand you. The other 20% out of the 70% will at least somewhat be okay, this makes sense in a way. But, no one's out, no one's there. And all I see is, just statements about this and that and this and that. And, yeah, it's just not right. So, as I said, personally, I think we should wait till winter transfer window. Worst case scenario, you sack him. But before you sack him a month and ahead, just look for a new coach who can play, the system, three at the back system. Now, don't revert it now. Because if you revert again, then, players like Tisserand and all and this and, a couple of players that will have to stay out now. Because you won't be able to play them. There's specific players playing specific formations and lineups. And then, then you'll have to bring in new players in the winter transfer window as well. So it's just pointless. We're basically hoarding players now. Every season, 15, 20 players, 15, 20 players, 15, 20 players. What is this? Seriously. Even at FIFA career mode, FM, nobody does that. Maximum you get 3-4 players and you're done. But, it's already been quite a long one, long talk. I'll try to make another one of these maybe after a few days. We'll see. I'll try to get back on uploading as well as much as I can when my free times. And let me know you guys' opinions. What do you think? And hope you all have a great week and take care and stay safe.